So is this Brooklands? Or is this Brooklands? Maybe that's Brooklands. Google says it's in here. Hi, it's Paul from Wicked Acorn. Today we're going walkabout in my neighborhood. I live in Brooklands, or at least I think I do. I live in that no man's land I call the Timperley Triangle. But I don't have one of those brown wheelie bins like they have in Brooklands. When we first moved here, I understandably thought Brooklands was the land of brooks. You know, the body of water, a stream. Well, it is the land of Brooks, but it's the land of this Brooks, Samuel Brooks. They called him Old Stink-a-Brass, and by the sounds of it, they probably said it to his face. Samuel Brooks was a true Lancashire man. He enjoyed a little repartee. When the Manchester South Junction and Altrincham Railway came through Sale, he purchased large tracts of land along here. Samuel Brooks became one of the largest landowners in Sale. His fellow businessmen must have thought him a fool. Sale was nothing but marshland. But Brooks had an eye to the future. He drained the land and built several miles of road with solid stone foundations. Brooklands Road ran as straight as an arrow for 2.5 miles from the Brooklands station. He built 4 large detached houses, each in 3/4 acres of ground. Woodbourne, Fernacre, Merseylee, and Belmore. Names you can still see here today. Belmore House is the only one that remains. The one that was here, Woodbourne, was purchased by John Lee, father of John Lee. We talked about him in another video. At least one of these houses was turned into Red Cross hospitals during the First World War. Oh, I do like this bridge. And it's a bridge of sail. I think that's Bagley Brook. And there's another bridge of sail. That's a pretty bridge. It's the land of brooks. Brooklands. Bagley Brook goes behind my house. There's a little secret gateway over here to our next stop, but let's take a look over here first. They're all around us, but how many of us actually notice them? They're part of our social history, and they're not all the same. They all bear a royal cipher depending on who was the king or queen of Great Britain when it was put in place. But it's not often you see one like this. It's really quite a rare thing. This one is an Edward VIII postbox. There were only 150 or so of them made. Like all things associated with this monarch's reign, very rare. There just weren't many coins, stamps, or medals minted for Edward VIII. He was on the throne for just 326 days in 1936. He never had a coronation. He found it impossible to carry the heavy burden of responsibility without the woman he loved. Not many of these remain intact. Nowadays, most have been removed or had their doors switched out for subsequent monarchs. But we've got one right here in Brooklands. Samuel Brooks knew if he was going to attract people to this new suburb idea, he would need a church. And here it is, the Church of St. John the Divine. He decided to employ a young Manchester architect called Alfred Waterhouse. Now, where have we heard that name before? Well, he went on to design the Manchester Town Hall and the Natural History Museum, to name a few. This was his first Anglican church, and it was gigs like this that gave him the working knowledge and reputation to go on to design many noted buildings all over the country. The laws governing how churches must be built were very strict. Being his first church and a young architect, Waterhouse towed the line at St. John's. 30 years later, towards the end of his career when he was famous and much in demand, he was able to ignore them. Brooks gave 8,500 square yards of land and granted £10,000 for the building and endowment of the church, which was to be the centerpiece of a respectable suburb. This at a time when churches in Manchester were being built for £2,000. It was started in 1864. Unfortunately, Samuel Brooks would not see it finished. He died shortly after construction began, which delayed its completion to 1868. So bin day is kind of confusing on Brooklands Road. On this side you'll see grey bins, and on the other side you'll see brown bins. This side's in Trafford, and the other side's in Manchester. Where exactly is Brooklands? Have you ever noticed the sail coat of arms? Why is there a badger on it? Well, you'll have to stick around to the end to find out. This is where Brooklands began. There were stations at Sale and Timperley, and in 1855, 45 residents petitioned for a station here. The company took no action, so in 1859, Samuel Brooks negotiated terms for a station. He offered an acre of land for £200 and guaranteed to pay the company £300 if annual receipts had not reached £100 after 5 years. The unofficial name Brooks Land soon became Brooklands, and the station so named opened here on the 1st of December 1859. Annual receipts did reach £100 after 2 years, and they don't have brown wheelie bins here. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more like this, do all those YouTube things, you know, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's free. And if you want to help us out, you can pick up one of our handmade things at Aaaannnd.com. We've even got things with the sail coat of arms on it. And, interesting note on that, is in the sail coat of arms you'll notice a badger. Now another name for a badger is a brock. Now I never heard of that before, but it's supposed to be a punning allusion to Brooklands. You know, Brooklands. Anyway, there you have it. That's why there's a badger on the sail coat of arms. It represents Brooklands. And by the way, thanks to Rick Ainsworth for helping me find this. You should check out his channel as well. He's got some great videos about sail.